hours a day. I mean, like hitchhiking all around and all kinds of stuff. Well, we had an apartment in Vienna the whole summer, but like we split and went to the beach quite a while.
The scene in Ocean City was we'd go out and cop, and in the afternoon we'd get hungry. There's a place up on the street called the Pizza Parlor or something like that. And we'd wait till these old ladies go in and order this great big pizza, you know. And they never eat the whole thing, and they'd leave about half of it. So as soon as they came out, we'd go in and finish it, you know. And during the day, panhandle, you know, anything to get money. Well, I think we went down there with $5 and stayed a month and a half.
And then when we started doing SCAG, that was it.
And we asked, what's it like? And he says, wow, it's completely different from anything you ever did. So we both looked at each other and said, wow, I wonder what it's like.
We had convinced ourselves that we knew exactly what it was like, but like really...
It wasn't like we expected.
Yeah, it was nothing like...
It's hard to prepare yourself because you don't know what you're...
You can't prepare yourself.
It's
everything is so vivid, so real that you got to even open your eyes to make sure that you had your eyes closed.
You feel really super heavy with junk, I think.
Yeah.
It's real hard to move.
Yeah, you just don't, you can't walk.
You just don't move.
Well, you can walk, but you just don't feel like moving.
It.
Like after a shot, you just, where you are, you stay most likely. You just kind of nod out and you dream. Then we came back. Donnie lived with me at my sister's for a little while. And then he moved out and found a place to live at this barn-type place. So then I moved over there and lived for a while. And that's when things really went, because I just said, hell with it, man. I'm not working anymore.
I wanted to get off, but I didn't know how to go about it. I couldn't tell my parents. Well, my parents had kicked me out. I couldn't tell them because before I left, they said, you know, you'll end up as nothing. And that's exactly what I ended up as, nothing. I didn't have anything. I had the clothes that were on me and no money.
You ended up worse than when you left. Well, I finally realized Donnie and I were completely... Goners. And that's a lot of reason I kept on doing junk, because I didn't have anything anymore.
I was in the bathroom of school and I hid up in school. So I was sitting there and I nodded out. And he came in, the principal, you know, and asked me what was wrong, and I didn't hear him. And, you know, couldn't hardly open my eyes or anything. He must have heard through somewhere that I had been doing drugs. And so he called my mother. And
I found needles in his pocket, but even then, it's a funny thing how you don't want to believe these things. So I felt as though I didn't want anything to do with him if he was doing this. And I didn't want to ask him the question because I wasn't sure whether these are the steps I should take or not, because I didn't know what to do.
And so he called my mother and asked her to take me out to see a doctor. So she took me to the hospital, and I was ruled down. I didn't know what was happening too much. And so the doors went shut, and there I was for 10 weeks.
Like, I was kind of glad that Donnie was gone, because when I finally got him out of my head, and he was gone, I didn't have him to, you know, think about. I didn't have nothing to think about except myself.
You don't care about anything when you really start doing junk a lot. You don't care about anybody or anything. The money thing goes up and you go down.
And then I started thinking about it and I said, I'm just gonna kill myself. That's it. There's no way out. I think I'd rather just die than to go through life being a junkie. I just took all the sleeping pills. I just looked in the mirror and I said, oh wow, you really did it this time. I just smiled and I just went to bed.
you can't believe it's going to hit home at any time. I think this is one of the greatest problems is the fact that nobody believes it's going to hit them, and they don't believe it exists.
He doesn't understand the way you felt. So I just shut up until he said something to me. And sometimes we sit there in a half hour, complete silence. How can you talk to somebody about something that they know nothing about?
No, I mean, they were wrong when they told you, don't take marijuana, you'll end up in a gutter, or don't take LSD because you'll end up in the gutter, or don't take heroin because you'll end up in a gutter. And you've taken pot and LSD, and you know you don't. You figure, well, maybe they were screwing around with me about heroin.
But it was made illegal. That's why it's bad.
And it's illegal, you know? That was all that mattered.
We don't deal with whether it should be legal or not, but whether or not the barrier of communication between parent and child is adding to the total problem of people using drugs.
Well, how can you expect to communicate to him when I can only guide him from my experience?
And you haven't had the experience.
No, I did know everything there was to know. No, you can't know it till you answer the question. I don't know. This is the dilemma that I'm in. You tell me. Drugs are not paying your way to college?
How do you know?
How do you know? I'm paying my way.
I get a lot.
You don't know. You're just choosing.